Hello everyone, happy holidays and welcome back to my channel. It is Hailey, the Pinup Princess, and today I'm coming back to you guys and everyone here on YouTube to do a little bit of a Q&A. I asked for some questions over on my Instagram and you guys were definitely not stingy with the questions. So I wanted to do a little Q&A simply because I wanted to jump back into things and get your guys's questions that you have. Since I have been gone for a little while, I decided to don something festive since some of the questions were, you know, sort of about the holiday season, and after all, at least right now, it is December, so I thought it would be the perfect time to wear this gorgeous red velvet outfit. And without further ado, let me hop onto my story and see what we have in terms of questions. So I'm not going to call out names of people who asked the questions, I'm just going to kind of jump into it. So starting off, someone asked me, how did I come up with Haleen? If you guys are at all familiar with my Instagram, I do something called Haleen where every couple days in October I do something different in terms of my other Instagram posts. I do a full set and I do full makeup and costume, and it always usually has a theme. So for Haleen this year, I did sort of glamour ghoul was the theme. So classic, in my opinion, glamorous monsters or icons of the days gone by. So we had people like Vampira, Bride of Frankenstein, Greta Gremlin, all things like that. I actually was inspired by Rachel Maxey here on YouTube. She has 31 days or 13 days of Maxoween. And I was kind of inspired by that, and Hailey-ween, it kind of sounded like Halloween to me, so I decided why not go for it. So very much inspired by Rachel Maxey. Next up, someone asked me, those very thin commercial paper patterns, yay or nay? Now, I believe you are talking about the sort of patterns from McCall's and Butterick, and a pattern that you could just buy sort of at any big brand store or at a Joann's or something. Now, how do I feel about these patterns? These are what I learned to sew with, so I'm used to them, only until I started being able to afford nicer paper reproduction patterns from like Lady Marlowe and stuff like that, which obviously I like better, but sometimes the thicker paper ones, when they're bent, they can kind of warp your fabric and make the fabric kind of bunch up. So I don't know, I'm pretty used to the paper ones, so I'm gonna say yay on that one. What would you name your cat if you had one? Now this is a wonderful question. I definitely would be basic. I really want a black cat. My plan is to adopt one in the next year or so, and I really want to name it Binks, like the one and only Thackeray Binks from Hocus Pocus. I'm trying to think of any other names. I think Figaro is adorable. I think that's an adorable cat name. I also love Dinah, like Alice's cat from Alice in Wonderland, so those are a few name options that I have. Someone asked, what is my favorite cosplay that I've made myself? That is a wonderful question. I'd say one of my favorites that I've made in terms of looks and everything and being proud of it, I would have to say, is my live action Cinderella ball gown. I will try and throw a picture up somewhere of that. Obviously I didn't have the right wig for it. This was kind of thrown together last minute over spring break. I decided I wasn't going on vacation, I wasn't doing anything, so I decided to replicate over a week this dress. It took over 70 yards of fabric, tons of Swarovski crystals, steel boning, all that kind of stuff, so that was kind of crazy. Definitely one of my favorites that I've made. Someone asked, dream role on Broadway. I have a few. Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz is one of my absolute favorites. I think that that is such a special part. It's been one of my favorite characters in movies since I was really, really little, so definitely Miss Dorothy Gale. Also, I would really love to play Audrey in Little Shop of Horrors. She is one of my ultimate dream roles. I love that part, so near and dear to my heart. I think there's so many layers of beauty and sadness and tragedy and comedy to that character that is super fun to bring to life, so definitely Audrey in Little Shop of Horrors. Someone asked, what is my top 5 favorite classic movies? Okay, I have too many, but in terms of like movies that I watch during the moody holiday months, I'm gonna go with my favorite like sort of moody holiday films. One of my favorite film noirs is of course Gilda with Rita Hayworth. I love the original Miracle on 34th Street. I love that movie, so near and dear to my heart. Baby Natalie Wood is in that. Another one that I love, let's see, Who doesn't love It's a Wonderful Life? That whole swing dancing scene with the Charleston when the pool opens up, that is just like iconic. I love that movie so much. I'm trying to think of some other ones. It's so hard to think of them on the fly. I should have thought about this before I started rolling the camera. Even though it's not technically a holiday movie, I love the red shoes. That is such a beautiful, you literally can see I have a pair of red point shoes specifically from that movie because I love that movie so much. It's like a spectacle. It's just so beautiful. I love that movie. And what's another, now if we're just talking classic movies, it doesn't have to be holiday. I'm gonna go with The Wizard of Oz. I know I said it all the time, but it's such a beautiful movie and it's so special to me. What's the most difficult piece you've made and how long did it take? I'm gonna say my Scarlett O'Hara barbecue dress from Gone with the Wind. That took me on and off, like when I say on and off, I mean months of not working on it. I'm gonna say that took me about 1.5 years to complete, simply because I had to custom order fabric. I used historical patterns, I altered it a bunch of different times to look even more accurate. It isn't even the most accurate because it's not made with the proper materials. It's made out of a cotton that has the same print on it. One day I'm hoping to be able to buy the actual printed chiffon. They sell it on Etsy, but it's hundreds upon hundreds of dollars. So I'd say the most difficult that I made was probably my Scarlett O'Hara dress, just because there's no patterns or things to base it off of other than the original movie from the 1930 film. Someone asked, what's my favorite look that I've done so far? That could be taken a bunch of different ways, so I'm gonna take it in the pinup realm because I've done a lot of pinup shoots recently, and I'd say my cowgirl is one of my favorites. I'll throw up a little picture somewhere. My cowgirl look is one of my favorites. It was so cute. I made it entirely out of things that I had lying around my sewing room, so I didn't go out and buy materials other than that cute pink cowgirl hat because obviously I didn't have that laying around, but I'd say one of my favorite is probably my cowgirl look. That one is super cute, and I'll probably rewear it for Halloween or for an event or something. Someone asked me, what's my favorite movie? That is a great question. This changes day to day. This is gonna be a really random one, but the Indiana Jones films have such a special place in my heart, specifically Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Okay, someone asked, what made me get into vintage fashion and vintage stuff in general? I would have to say that has to do with my love of all things old-fashioned ever since I was really little. I grew up on TV shows like Bewitched and I Loved Lucy. Excuse me, I Love Lucy. I was thinking Bewitched ended in a D. I'm in a different headspace right now. I Love Lucy, all those kind of shows, so seeing all the fashion and the elegance and the hairstyles and the lifestyles and just sort of the classiness of it all was really appealing to me as a little kid, and I definitely longed for that life and knew that it wouldn't happen naturally, so I'd have to make it myself. So sure enough, when I got old enough and started getting into vintage and pinup, that is what really kickstarted my love, and obviously my style has changed the past couple of years. I started very 1940s, and then when I discovered the world of pinup and embracing my curves and all that kind of fun stuff, then I got into the more 50s sort of style of it, and now I'm kind of a melting pot of both, and it's so wonderful, and I'm very excited to do bigger and better things in my life. Which I actually entered a pinup contest, which if I'm lucky enough to be chosen, will be participating in March, so I'll probably do a little vlog or stuff on the process of that, but stay tuned for that. That's very exciting. What has been my longest project and what has been my shortest project? Longest project has probably been the Scarlett O'Hara barbecue dress, and some of my shortest projects are when I make little stuff like circle skirts or things like that, which take me literally a matter of hours. Like I could complete a circle skirt in probably less than 2 hours, so that's probably a super easy one. I know that's a boring answer, I'm sorry, but that's the best I can do. Someone asked, what has been my favorite costume to make and or wear? Now, I actually was in a production of Something Rotten during COVID, and my gown for that was probably one of my favorite gowns I've ever worn. It fit me so beautifully, and the fabric and material was wonderful, and I also did make it, so that's kind of a double whammy. I'll throw in a picture somewhere from backstage. I know I snuck a photo. That's floating around somewhere in the costume loft of my theater company, but I would love to find it and maybe give you guys a close-up tour of it because it is so beautiful and detailed, and I worked my butt off making that. Someone also said, what inspired me to start dressing vintage? I would say watching old films and old movies and just being so enthralled with the beauty and glamour of the women that I saw up there and how elegant they were. I was really intrigued by that, and something just sort of clicked in my brain of, oh, that's me. That's how I dress. That's how I want to be. So I'd say literally just consuming vintage media is what really kickstarted it. And then physically being able to learn how to practice pin curling my hair and do my makeup and learn what silhouettes look good on me and go vintage shopping and making my own clothes has really helped, because I've been able to watch a movie like Gilda, for instance. I have a big birthday party coming up that I will be recreating the black dress from Gilda from. And just being able to see that and say, oh, I want that dress. And I tried to look it up and tried to find it, because sure, it's easy to go buy a garment. But then I said, you know what? I know how to sew, so I can make it. So things like that where you can just be able to say, oh, I can make that in a couple days. Stuff like that is what really helped sort of make it a lot more easy and accessible to start dressing vintage, for me at least. There's a couple of other questions. Let's see, someone asked me my Chick-fil-A order. This is very controversial. I know some people don't like Chick-fil-A. I'm not a huge fan of their morals, however, they have some damn good chicken, and I will stand by that. So my Chick-fil-A order is an 8-piece nugget meal with a large fry, a Coke Zero, and 4 Chick-fil-A sauce, because I go through those things so quickly, it's insane. Now that is all the questions I think I'm going to go through, just because I want to keep this video short and sweet for you guys. I'm sitting in front of my Christmas tree. It is currently December 5th, so we are just sort of in the beginning stages of the holiday season. I celebrate Christmas, so Christmas is coming up for my family. I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about my channel and updates I have. I graduated, in case you guys did not know, I graduated early, so now I have a lot more free time. And during the Halloween season, I had at least 4 videos planned based on Hailey posts on my Instagram. And something happened where the footage in iMovie, I'm not very technical, I edit all my stuff in iMovie, so that's why it seems a little janky. I apologize. I'm going to try and get better and maybe take a class on it. But all of my stuff in iMovie, pieces and files were missing. And it also was overtaking my storage. And so I've learned that when I film videos, I have to film them, edit them literally within a day and post them on YouTube. Otherwise, when I delete certain files, they don't stay on my computer. And maybe that's just me not thinking it through and not being smart. But I had about 5 or 6 videos that were completely just lost to the world, that I worked hours upon hours showcasing to you guys what I had done. So I apologize for that. That's why I had super big Halloween plans for the channel, and they slipped through the cracks. However, I'm gonna do my best now to film some Christmas videos and holiday videos for you guys. I really love doing the whole YouTube thing, and we're actually in my room for once. I decided I want to share more of my actual sort of real life with you guys instead of being in front of a backdrop and a green screen all the time. This is my room. This is where a lot of the magic happens. I love to decorate it and make it vintage inspired, although sometimes it is a lot of just random crap thrown around my room, and that's girlhood after all, is stilettos flung on my bed, and I have fake nails on the floor and hair flowers are everywhere, so it's very real. I try to be very real with you guys, even though I look put together. Oftentimes I'm not completely. But plans for the channel, yeah, it's just really trying to keep up with posting. I want to try and get a posting schedule down for you guys. I'm also applying for many different jobs and interviews and stuff, so that might throw things off, but for now, I wanted to get this video up there. I'm going to try and keep it under 20 minutes. I love you guys so much. Thank you for staying with me through the channel and this sort of, why do I have an accent? This sort of dim time on my channel where I'm not posting a lot and where I was just kind of silent, and I know that algorithm is probably going to hate me for that, but I apologize, and I will try and get more sewing and an updated hair tutorial as well, and perhaps another makeup video for you guys. I'm glad I at least got a few early Halloween videos up for you guys, but until then, this is the first sort of holiday video up on the channel. I love you all so much. Thank you again for watching, and I will talk to you gorgeous people later. Stay fabulous. Mwah.